In the sultry heat of July 1702, Nightjar Plantation breathed in the dark, restless air just south of Charleston. Its wooden walls, warped by storms and decades of labor, held within them stories too heavy for daylight. At the edge of the fields, cypress and willow dripped with morning dew, while a river meandered through the swamps, carrying with it whispers and secrets older than the colony itself. Eden rarely slept through the night. She had learned to wake at every sound, owl, rat, footstep, or the crash of a pot. That July night, the air in the slave quarters was stifling. Claude, her younger brother, tossed in feverish sleep. The others mumbled and shifted, afraid even in dreams. Eden eased from beneath the thin blanket and padded silently to the main house. She did not move from choice. It was the summons, left without words, a folded rag placed discreetly atop the stove at dusk. To ignore it risked punishment for her and for her family. The kitchen lay cool and stone-quiet. Lantern light sent flickers up the walls, illuminating shelves sagging with preserved peaches, cornmeal, and lard. She barely had time to ready her hands at the wooden table before James Collier slipped inside, closing the door with unnecessary care. He was not a large man, but made up in sharpness what he lacked in size. His coat hung undone, boots dusted with mud. He watched Eden a moment before speaking, voice lower than a snake in the grass. "You know why I called for you?" Eden wanted to keep her eyes on the table, hands steady, but she met his gaze, defiant if cautious. "You called. I came, Mr. Collier. That's all." He stepped nearer, letting his hand land too comfortably on her shoulder. She stood frozen, knowing any resistance would be called disrespect. "You're a clever girl, Eden. I like that about you." She stiffened as his breath, thick with whiskey, hit her cheek. What Collier called cleverness, others called danger. Outside, Samuel, small, with an old man's wary eyes, waited in the shadows for the cook's wooden ladle he had left behind. He pressed his ear to the door as the whisperings continued, and then, at the sound of a stifled protest, watched through a slivered gap as Collier drew Eden near. Samuel's heart pounded as the lantern outlined a tableau that would gnaw at him for years. Inside, Collier tried a crude tenderness. "You keep this between us, and I'll see you and your brother treated right. I can make things easier." But Eden answered in a low voice that was meant to be steel and came out as fatigue. "No one can make this easier." A sudden clatter. Samuel dropped the ladle. In a heartbeat, Collier shoved Eden behind him and swung open the door. "Who's there?" Samuel froze, cornered in moonlight. Collier's face twisted in fury. "What did you see?" The boy choked. "I didn't see nothing, sir, promise." Collier stepped forward, towering over him. "If you speak, it won't go well for you or for her. Go on now." Samuel darted away, knees knocking, and Eden found herself trembling too. Not from Collier, but from the dread of the wheels set in motion. Afterward, Eden walked back across the night grass, each step heavier. She knew her world had changed, the fragile protection of forgottenness now torn. Her only hope was that Samuel, for his sake and hers, would stay silent. The next sunrise, the slaves gathered for roll call. Overnight, news crept from lips to ears. Someone saw Collier with Eden after curfew. Old Cato scowled and muttered prayers. The women looked away, understanding the risk. Some, perhaps, envied her the protection they imagined such attention could bring. But Eden knew protection was a brittle thing. Promise one moment, peril the next. The days grew thick with rumor. Work in the fields was relentless. The tobacco wilted under the sun, and overseers barked harsher than usual. Inside the quarters, the tension grew. Samuel avoided Eden. Her brother asked nothing but watched everything, knowing his sister bottled up secrets heavier than night. Annabel, matriarch of the house slaves and trusted by no one, pressed Eden one day beside the well. "Did he hurt you?" Eden shook her head, but Annabel's old eyes saw the truth and more, the mixture of anger, shame, and stubborn will. "You keep your backbone strong, girl. Nothing lasts forever." Not even masters. Eden clung to the words, though hope felt like a distant memory. That evening, as the men and women drifted to rest, Collier prowled the edges, eyes darting for the boy. He cornered Samuel near the smokehouse, gripping his ear hard. "You seen too much for your own good." Samuel whimpered. "I won't say, I swear. I ain't seen a thing." Collier sneered. "Let's see that you keep it that way." As Samuel limped away, Annabel intercepted him, wrapping him in a stern embrace. "You keep your mouth shut. Some truths are too dangerous to carry." Samuel nodded, clutching the knowledge like a hot coal. Days later, Collier summoned Eden to the barn under the excuse of helping salt the pork. There, out of sight, he pressed again for silence and obedience, but also something human, a confession of loneliness, perhaps. He spoke of the weight of his job, of being unloved, of wanting someone to see him. But Eden, hard and silent, simply waited for it to end. He was dangerous in contradiction, a man seeking warmth, dispensing cruelty with the same hands. "It's not personal," Collier whispered before she left. "It's just how things are." Eden replied, "For you. Only for you." In the darkness, Samuel heard it all, each secret planting new seeds of dread. Weeks passed, but gossip thickened. Martha Bellamy, the plantation mistress, overheard the whispers and called Collier into the parlor. She was sharp, her tongue laced with the authority of a Southern family matriarch. "Mr. Collier, I abide no scandal in my house. See it fixed. Fast." Fearful, Collier redoubled his vigilance, but the damage was done. Eden became an object of speculation. Some women avoided her, afraid of collateral punishment. Others offered subtle support, a shared crust, a warning look, a word of kindness. All felt the strain tightening. That Sunday, the slaves gathered for their clandestine prayer meeting down by the river, out of sight. Annabel led the hymn, her voice trembling as she prayed for deliverance, for unity, for mercy that might not come. Eden sought comfort there, joining in song, anchorless but uplifted by the community's shared suffering. One night, a white stranger arrived, a trader doing business with Bellamy. He dined, drank whiskey, and boasted in the candlelight about other plantations where such troubles had been dealt with by sending the troublemaker downriver, a euphemism for selling them south or worse. Martha fixed Collier with an icy glare. "Understand, Mr. Collier, your problem should never become mine." The pressure mounted. One early morning, Collier dragged Samuel from bed and demanded a confession. In tears, Samuel denied, spreading tales. Old Cato, overhearing, finally intervened. "Sir, the boy says nothing. Let him alone." Collier's fist clenched, but before he struck, Martha herself arrived in a flurry. "Enough! Return to your duties, all of you!" Outside, as the heat rose, the fields buzzed with tension. Work became punishment. At the smallest slip, Collier lashed out with words, and sometimes worse. Claude, Eden's brother, paid dearly. Caught slacking one afternoon, he took Collier's anger in her place. Eden, powerless, tended her brother's bruises by lantern light, rage soldered to her bones. In response, an unspoken alliance formed. The slaves began to help each other quietly, guarding, gathering, warning of Collier's approach. Annabel placed herself between the overseer and Eden whenever possible, her presence a shield. Even Samuel became bolder, tipping Eden to Collier's moods and escapes. Furtively, one evening, Annabel gave Eden the gift of a tattered book, the Gospel of John. "He can tear your body, but not your mind. Words are seeds. Let yours grow strong, even in bad soil." Eden wept for the first time in weeks, the tears silent. The anguish of the kitchen incident, once a hidden ember, flared again when another slave girl, Amity, was called late one night to the stable and did not return until dawn. Rumors spread. Collier had moved on, and Amity bore new bruises. The sorrows of one became the sorrows of many. The injustice of one night became a warning to all. Late one evening, a storm crashed over Nightjar. Lightning cleaved the sky, thunder rattled every window, and rain washed the fields raw. By candlelight in the quarters, Eden, Annabel, and Samuel huddled together, voices low. "We survive best when we survive together," Annabel whispered, gripping their hands. Samuel found the courage to share what he saw, confessing with tears and shame. Eden hugged him fiercely. "You're still my brother. We live in the same house, the house of the wronged. That's our kinship." The storm outside echoed the turmoil within their hearts, but something shifted, solidarity forged in shared pain. Word reached Nightjar's master, William Bellamy, of unrest on his land. He confronted Collier, warning that any further scandal would mean dismissal. "Keep the peace by any means," he demanded, oblivious to the cost. But the House of Cards could not stand. One humid afternoon, Martha Bellamy witnessed Collier berate Amity in the yard. Her face paled as Collier seized the girl's wrist. That night, Martha summoned him. "Mr. Collier, it's clear you lack control over yourself and my staff. I can no longer trust you on this property. You will depart by week's end." Collier sputtered, but Martha's authority was ironclad. The next day, a wagon waited for him at dawn. No farewell was spoken. His departure changed little for Nightjar's harsh system, but for Eden and the others, it meant the first breath of relief in months. The fieldwork continued, but the threat of Collier's shadow no longer darkened every door. Eden's reputation did not heal overnight. Some wounds cut too deep for easy cure. Yet slowly, respect for her resilience grew. Annabel's counsel stuck. Dignity could be claimed in the smallest acts of resistance, tending a wound, sharing a story, refusing to shrink. When autumn arrived, Eden's brother was stronger, Samuel was less fearful, and Annabel presided over the women's circle with fresh fire. New stories joined the old, of survival, friendship, quiet rebellion. Martha Bellamy, now more present in the running of the plantation, quietly improved the lot of the women. Lighter tasks for the most vulnerable, permission for Sunday gatherings, children's lessons, small mercies in a world still chained. But no one forgot the lesson of that July, how quickly a secret could ignite, how a shared silence could save or damn, how fragile was the line between survival and ruin. Eden refused to forget. In the quiet of the kitchen one night, she read the battered Bible, Samuel asleep beside her, Annabel humming a song of home. Above all, she carved her own lesson into memory. No chain is unbreakable forever. There are eyes and ears in every dark corner. And sometimes the truth, softly spoken, outlives the men who tried to bury it. As Nightjar settled into its next season, the ghosts of old pain and new hope moved among the cabins, fields, and kitchen fires, reminding all who survived that, in solidarity and resilience, there was a future, however distant. And if this story of hidden truth, courage, and survival moved you, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more tales of shadows, secrets, and the enduring flame of resistance seldom found in the official chronicle.